Da da dum dum dum. Bum ba bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. Oh, hello everybody. I didn't see you come in. I'm just in the middle of shaving this morning. Do 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 do. What? What? Oh, I'm not using shaving cream? No, I don't. I ran out of shaving cream and I went down into the under the sink there and I found this. Some Noxema. The original deep cleansing cream. This stuff works really well. And actually, I kind of like it better. I don't know. It lubricates your scalp. And then you use one of these cheap little Bic razors and you just go to town on it. And it really does a nice job. And then it kind of massages, you just kind of massage it into your skin and it keeps your skin looking nice and young. I always got to do that because there's always some funny hair that grows right in between your eyebrows. I always hate that. It's like weird. But this works really well and I like it. So I'm sorry, but I didn't expect you so early. So Mickey Cucchiella is back in the news. Remember Mickey? He used to be the morning man there at 98 Rock, and earlier this year he kind of gave that up because he was having it was worn out. He just kind of was plumb tuckered out, I think. And, it didn't help that 98 Rock's ratings were kind of not doing so great either up there in Baltimore. So Mickey's been kind of taking it a little bit easier. And I think I'm doing pretty good here. But anyhow, he's joining up with Mike O'Mara. Now, Mike O'Mara has started this thing called MORE, the Mike O'Mara, what's it called? The Mike O'Mara Radio Entertainment Network. MORE. And Mike is getting together with Mickey Cucchiella, and they're going to start. Mickey's going to start a show called It's Mickey, starting in December, and so that's cool. So Mickey will do a podcast, as they call it, on the MORE network, and Tony Perkins, who's a Channel 5 news anchor, who just got. Well, I guess this was pretty good, huh? Tony Perkins is the Channel 5 news anchor. He was doing mornings and they moved him into afternoons and evenings, and everybody hates him doing evenings because he's not an evening kind of guy in anything. But anyhow, as the Channel 5 ship sinks. But anyhow, Tony went to college with Mike O'Mara. I think they went to American back there in the 70s or the early 80s, something like that. Early 80s, late 70s, whatever. And Tony, of course, Tony Perkins has worked. He's been all over. Remember, he used to be, I think he worked on Channel 20 for a while, and he worked on KYS when Donnie Simpson did the morning show there, and he's been all over. Remember then he got hired by ABC to do the, I think he was doing morning weather, I think at 5 or someplace, and then he got hired by ABC to do the morning weather for them. Then he came back here, and then he went from morning weather into news and stuff. But anyhow, Tony Perkins is going to also do a show for Mike O'Mara there on the MORE network. So that's cool. And Mike just had his OmaraCon 2013 over there at the State Theater in Falls Church. That was on Saturday. So Mike's keeping busy. Now, that's interesting because then we have the RELM network, and that's Marc Ronick and some of the other guys there who are old, go back to the old Don and Mike show, regular call-in guys. And Marc Ronick there has gotten some people together, including Buzz Burbank, who used to be on the Mike O'Mara podcast and all that. And they've got also Kirk McEwen. Now, that's interesting because Kirk McEwen also used to work at 98 Rock. He used to be part of the KML, Kirk, Mark, and Lopez morning show there on 98 Rock. So you have Mike O'Mara and his MORE network over here, and you have Marc Ronick and his RELM network. RELM, R-E-L-M. I forget. The R stands for Ronick, I know that, but the others, there's some of the other guys that have teamed up with him there. And so Buzz Burbank is now, and a bunch of other guys are working with Mark on the RELM network. So we have RELM and MORE and RELM kind of battling each other. So it'd be interesting to see That all works out. It'd be cool if they could get some stations. Yeah, something. Michael Mara ought to buy a radio station. I don't know, just even it's a little dippy AMer and collect the more. Put your podcast on it, but also have it on the radio and stream it and do as many different ways as you can do, and then the RELM network. Maybe they could do that, the RELM 1390 and more 1120 or something like that, and I don't know. I think that would be kind of neat, but it's interesting to see now how, in a couple of years we may not even have broadcast radio anymore. I don't know. I think we will. It's not like, everybody claimed like in the 60s and the 50s that television would kill the movies. Television changed the movies. The movies became something different, bigger actually, in many respects, And, broadcast radio will always be with us, I think, as long as we don't blow ourselves off the face of the planet. But, it's going to change. I think you're going to have, more mainstreamish stuff on broadcast radio, as you're already seeing. It's mainstream formats, mainstream pop formats, mainstream talk formats, mainstream news formats, that kind of thing. Whereas more of the different types of rock and roll and rap and everything will go on to satellites and podcasts and everything. So, you're going to see fewer and fewer eclectic stations on the air, I think, and more just basic stuff on the broadcast radio with the eclectic stuff. And there'll be a lot of eclectic cool stuff, but it will be all on, web streams and satellite services and whatever. So I think that's what we're seeing. Do you? Well, how's the anyhow? Interesting. We just got the radio ratings. And I'm looking at the money demo, and I'm seeing WTOP as usual in first place. Oh, I think I missed. Damn it! I missed a spot over here. Watch me cut my jugular. I just missed it. It's kind of like one day I slipped and cut my earlobe, and it bled for like an hour, and it didn't even hurt. I'm sitting here, shaving, and it didn't hurt at all. I'm getting dressed, and I put on one of my white T-shirts, and there's blood dripping down. It's like just pouring out of my earlobe. And, I had to hold it like this for like 20 minutes just to get it to stop, and then it kept oozing out for like an hour. It's like very, very, a lot of veins, a lot of blood in your earlobe. Be careful about that. Okay, WTOP was first. These just weekly ratings for the second week of November, which is actually mid-October. And, no huge surprises in the numbers, except the fact that we still see poor old WNEW way down there. WNEW at 34th place. 34th place. Now, we're approaching WNEW's second anniversary in January. And I thought, I said the first year WNEW will be on the air. This is that CBS All Newser at 99.1 if you haven't been reading DCR TV. And I said, the first year, okay, they're going to be down in the 20s in the ratings. And I said by the second year, they're going to be over 20 in the ratings. They're going to be up to 19 or 18th place. I really thought that would be a good trajectory for them. And you're seeing them not gaining traction. They're just spinning their wheels. 34th place in the money demo 2554 numbers is not good. And who's ahead of them? I mean, there are more people listening to WLIF, Light 102, 101.9 in Baltimore. There are more people listening to this Baltimore station in the Washington market than are listening to WNEW. There are more people listening to a Christian station in Baltimore on 95.1 than listening to WNEW in the Washington market. There are more people in the Washington market listening to this Mexican Spanish station from Manassas on 1460 and 106.3 WKDV than are listening to WNEW. There are more people in Washington that are listening to Fredericksburg's B 101.5 and Winchester's WINC FM 92.5. There are more people listening to QSR in Baltimore. Baltimore's QSR, which is a good station, I like Jack FM, in Washington that are listening to WNEW. I don't know. This has got to be costing CBS a lot of money. I mean, they have a staffed up news station, which is expensive. And it's not getting even it's 34th place. It's signal, 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 as I've said before. You got to get a killer signal into Fairfax County. You just do. But again, I was driving around Manassas the other day, and I could hear NEW just fine on 99.1 on the car radio, so I don't know. Again, it's the website. They need to get some promotional. Maybe they should start advertising it seriously. Big heavy duty advertising campaign and start selling their talent. They need a better website. That CBS cookie cutter website just doesn't take it. Doesn't work. I don't know. But I've said this stuff again and again and again. And, the folks over there at WNEW seem to think we're right on track and the CBS suits are happy and da-da-da-da-da. But then you look at these numbers and they just are lower and lower and lower. And we're talking about a pretty big news cycle here. We're talking the elections and all that for mid-October. And you would think WMAL's ratings have gone up a little bit with the news cycle there, with all the screaming right-wing propaganda we hear on WMAL these days. Their numbers have tacked up. They're up to what are they doing in the money demo? The money demo they don't do so hot in. They were like what were they? They were something like the 17th in the money demo, but in the 6 pluses they were up to 9th or something. So, even they're tracking up with all that. You would think with all the election coverage and all that, with the Virginia governor's race and all that, they might be, tracking up a little bit, but they're not. It's bizarre. So, I don't know. How much longer can CBS keep this going? Again, it's a pride thing for CBS, and I don't know. Wow. What other big news? CNN names Brian Stelter as host of its reliable sources. Whoopie-doo. Nobody watches it anyhow. Who cares? Who watches CNN? I can't stand CNN. I'm a liberal and I can't stand it. It's all irritating. I never watch it. Some sad news. Michael Kelley, who's at GMU, George Mason University School of Public Policy. He's a longtime faculty member there. Have you ever heard of the Capital Connection? Back in the days, they had some kind of a microwave link or whatever, and they were broadcasting courses and George Mason University stuff. He was on the cutting edge back in the early 80s of getting into that whole cable TV, multi-path, multi-distribution stuff with colleges and stuff. And anyhow, it's very sad. He passed away, apparent heart attack on Monday. Very sad there. Michael Kelley, the Capital Connection there at George Mason. Chad Dukes is still, I guess he's still hospitalized. Now, what could be wrong with Chad Dukes? Little overweight, kind of hyper guy. I would guess the old ticker. Chad, you got to lose some weight. You got to take those cholesterol-lowering drugs. You got to lower your blood pressure. You got to calm down. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with Chad, but that's my guess. And looking at Chad, I would say that's probably a heart-related thing with Chad. But who knows? Maybe it's something else. Oh yeah, where is it here? Dug that out of the old... That was from last year. I thought that was funny. Vote 1059. All right, folks. That's Dave TV for today. It's actually kind of a slow news week. Not a hell of a lot going on. Whoa, what did I do with the picture? There we go. Anyway, help support DCR TV. Won't you please? We do have a lot of ads on the site, and they're all wonderful and all that. But this is an expensive place to live. And it's expensive to do business in the Washington area, as you all know, as many of you know. So send us a few bucks. Help us out. DCR TV Plus with a whole lot of cool memories is only $29 a year. So do help us out. Buy a classified. We have some really cool. We only charge $45 for a job ad on DCR TV. That's really cheap. Some of these websites are charging hundreds of bucks for job ads, and we'll get you a really good viewing of a whole bunch of movers and shakers out there for your job ad. So do that, please. Just to click on the support tab there at DCRTV.com. All right, folks. That's for watching Dave TV for the 13th of November, 2013. Book 'em, Dano.